Welcome to this exciting episode, where we explore how to turn danger into opportunity, even sending a fugitive back home. This sneaky observation method allowed Rui to better understand his opponent, while Hae-jun was blissfully unaware, thinking he was in control. In reality, what he saw as everyday life was merely Rui showcasing a fantasy to satisfy her, because only stories that fit the imagination can convince. He knew Hae-jun preferred truth-digging over closing cases, so after it ended, he wanted to deepen their bond, but dared not confess. So Rui then countered with a question to Hae-jun, who asked curiously, "Why are you so happy?" Then he took a step back, noticing Hae-jun looked as nervous as a little hedgehog. Rui smiled and inquired, "What?" This left Hae-jun defenseless, forcing him to concede. Then, before Rui, he undid his belt, sparking awkward laughter. He then took Rui back to his place, made her some fried rice, and voila, they finally confirmed their relationship. But since he was still caught in the fog of the case, he couldn't let Hae-jun catch on, so while handling other cases, he casually disposed of all the relevant photos. During their dates, he also deleted the recordings of Hae-jun's surveillance, and many might wonder, did Rui never feel a spark? The answer is absolutely not. Confucius would agree, because when the truth came out, he held Hae-jun tightly, sporting a mischievous grin. Meanwhile, Hae-jun was in shambles, not just because his confidence as a cop was crushed, but because his feelings as a man were toyed with. He was losing it, feeling like life had already beaten him, like losing at rock, paper, scissors to a toddler. Him totally shattered. Rui tried to mend things with Hae-jun, but Hae-jun said he had just switched phones for his grandma. Then he suggested throwing the phone away, letting this all disappear, before storming off, leaving Rui confused and pulling out his phone. He googled what crumble meant, finding out it stands for collapsing and shattering, causing his heart to break into pieces. Just when the frozen starlit sea was hit by the sunlight, he was ready to face whatever came his way. After a setback, Hae-jun left Busan and arrived in the seaside city where his wife lived, only to unexpectedly bump into the woman who broke him again. She was with her new husband, Ren Hao-zin, who gave Hae-jun the death stare, like he already knew there was history there. His wife recognized Ren Hao-zin as a finance host, and the expert started chatting with him. This created space for Rui and Hae-jun. However, seeing the woman of his dreams, Hae-jun's eyes started to sparkle, while Rui looked a bit more worn out than before. What Hae-jun didn't see coming was that the next day, a murder occurred here. The victim was actually Rui's current husband, who had been stabbed 17 times. The scene was gruesome. Rui called the police and again became the prime suspect. She said her husband swindled under investment pretext. Hae-jun asked Rui why she married this guy, and Rui simply replied, "We broke up." Hae-jun didn't want to get stuck in this mess again, so when faced with Rui's blatant confession, he opted for a strategic sip of water to keep his cool. After regaining his composure, he ducked away from the cameras and seriously asked, "Two husbands dying within a year. What's the deal?" Rui shot back, "There's no way, it's just a coincidence." But Hae-jun just couldn't muster a subtitles. When Ha-lun noticed the gourmet food was no longer there, Rui started throwing a little tantrum like a tiny diva, making the situation even worse. Hae-jun snapped a pic, only to uncover a lead during an investigation. The missing Rui had been modeling in a blue gown, striking some bizarre poses. He returned to Rui's place, only to have Rui leap into his arms, and the intoxicating familiarity almost made him lose his focus. But he knew how dangerous Rui could be. After searching around, he discovered some charred remains, forcing Rui to spill the truth. This morning, while walking home, he found his husband's body floating in the pool. Knowing Hae-jun would faint at the sight of blood, he drained the pool. He struggled to drag the body aside and wash away the blood, cleaned the pool, then torched the blood-stained clothes like it was a scene from a thriller. He just wanted to give Hae-jun a clean investigation environment, but who knew Hae-jun would lock him up for destroying evidence. But Rui passed the lie detector test, proving he didn't kill his husband, yet Hae-jun was still not ready to give up. He ordered his team to copy the recordings from Rui's watch and translate them into Korean, talk about a never-ending detective drama. Unexpectedly, the real killer was caught at this moment, none other than the debt collector cheated by Ren Hao-zin. His mother had worked her whole life saving money, only to be swindled by Ren Hao-zin. Poor lady was just too naive. Already diabetic and devastated, his kidneys started to fail. He had vowed that if anything happened to his mother, Ren Hao-zin would pay. Lo and behold, his mother just passed away, and surveillance caught them at Ren's villa. On the subtitles, Hai-Lun inquired whether he was acting under Rui's orders, but the other party stated that his team had already started preparing for the victory banquet. But Hai-Jun remained uneasy, so he ordered his men to mimic Rui's beach actions, realizing she was throwing things into the waves. He speculated it could be Ren's phone, so he immediately had his crew search for it, leaving them confused and asking why he wouldn't let Rui go. Finally, after hearing the recordings from Rui's watch, Hai-Jun's tense emotions eased. It turned out all her actions stemmed from missing him. "What you just pulled up, Hal? He never noticed me like I thought," she mused. Just like something Hai-Jun had said before, every word felt like a confession to him. "Did I come all this way just for this? What now, Mom? Why are you crying?" Finally, when he arrived at the beach villa, he found Rui had vanished without a trace, and the inspiration he sought turned into disappointment.